My first matchup upgrade is George Pickens against the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. I know a lot of people are questioning Pickens about his performance last week after CeeDee Lamb went down with the concussion, but I think he has a bounce back performance this week. And I think people are really forgetting that that was just his second game all season with fewer than 12 fantasy points. He's really proven to us that he has a high floor this season. And a big part of his success has been because of the quick chemistry that he built with Dak Prescott. Pickens has been making the most out of his targets with a career-high 68% catch rate, which is also translated to having the fourth most yards per target of any player this season. This lines up well for Pickens as the Vikings have allowed the fifth most yards per target to wide receivers. In addition to the efficiency on targets, there's also going to be some opportunity in the deep passing game against the Vikings. Minnesota has allowed the highest catch rate over expectation and most EPA per pass on deep pass attempts this season. Dak Prescott, on the other hand, is top 4 in both of these categories, while Pickens is tied for fourth most deep targets this season. So expect a bounce back performance from Pickens and probably Prescott as well this week. My second matchup upgrade is probably one of the juiciest matchup storylines of the 2025 season, and that's tight ends against the Bengals. And they play the Ravens this week, so make sure to get both Ravens tight ends in your lineup, and here's why. Cincinnati has allowed 160 more fantasy points to tight ends than any other team this season. Their 33.3 points per game allowed to the position is the most for any team since at least 2000. The next closest team in that span was the 2013 Cardinals, who allowed 6 points per game less at 27.3. Last week, the Bengals allowed 93 receiving yards to Dawson Knox. That was just the third time in his career that he topped 90 receiving yards, and the first time he's done so since week 15 of 2022. The Ravens, on the other hand, have the fifth highest target share to tight ends this season, and the recipient of that production of late has been Isaiah Likely. He's second on the team in targets, receptions, and receiving yards over the last 3 weeks and has the fifth most fantasy points among tight ends in the last 2 weeks. And to be honest, that number could be even higher after that receiving touchdown that he had called back last week. But don't be surprised if the Ravens try to get both tight ends involved this week like the Bills did to the Bengals last week. Just 2 weeks ago when the Ravens played the Bengals, Mark Andrews had 47 receiving yards, which is his second most this season. If you don't have a set it and forget it tight end this week, I think either Ravens tight end can be an option for you in a matchup that has been an absolute goldmine for tight ends all season long.